So the triad came out of our review of the literature. The basic question is, how does attachment relate to mental health? And it's a big question. I mean, there are some modest relationships there if you just look at attachment and mental health. And it's a big question that's still being studied and investigated. How is there a link between those two things? And we focused on three. This is the triad we talk about in the book. So secure attachment brings about a capacity to have your emotions regulated and to eventually be able to regulate yourself. And often in mental health difficulties, there can be problems of that kind. Secure attachment brings about the capacity to reflect on yourself and others. Again, where there are difficulties, there may be problems in accurately reading the intentions of others and accurately, knowing what's happening inside of you and what's happening for you. And thirdly, a sense of trust and safety. So that's how you feel towards yourself and towards others. It's a sort of a felt sense. And it also influences how open you are to people's information and guidance and so on. So those three things are thought about and explicitly worked on in a practical way with DDP as an attachment-informed approach. And those attention to those can lead to potentially a promotion of the development of the child, which could have benefits for their mental well-being in that way. And in this book, we're helping child mental health practitioners who maybe recognize the importance of those things and the importance of attachment, actually bring those into the room and use them moment to moment. And so it was a useful exercise because it deepens our understanding about maybe why DDP may be useful more broadly. So aside from working with children who've had the worst starts because of maltreatment and neglect, it may also be facilitating those areas of development for perhaps less insecure kids and their families who may be struggling with mental health.
Well said, Ben. I think I think we got excited the more we talked and the more we were writing that this is we're not talking simply about kids with reactive attachment disorder or attachment problems. We're talking about kids who have mental health problems that are seen by or their parents are consult about with all sorts of therapists and counselors and parent teachers and trainers about how do we help our children. And when parents seek help for their children, it's often about their relationships, their ability to regulate, and their ability to reflect, or variations on those three. So we start talking about the 3 R's, Megan, rather than the 3 R's of mental health, really, and how attachment is so crucial in all three of those. And then how then can we sort of address all three of those from an attachment perspective? And we will present how DDP addresses those. But now that if you agree with the premise, then you might want to address them with your model of therapy as well. Other models of therapy may well more actively have a more active attachment perspective.
Often, when we meet families, when I was working in mental health, they're coming in with those things ever present. We know from the research that relationships do influence outcomes. And if the kid and the parents don't trust us, if they don't feel safe with us, then they're probably unlikely to go with our ideas, whether that be cognitive behavioral or whatever. So in order to help them feel safe to explore and maybe make some changes, because changing things is a big ask of anyone, then why not attend to helping facilitate some of those qualities of feeling safe enough, being able to be regulated about distressing experience, and be able to reflect on what it's like to have those feelings or experiences. And so in essence, it tries to make those things much more salient in the therapist's mind. And that doesn't mean they dismiss their CBT or the behavior therapy. It just means they might utilize that to help enhance the likelihood that when they suggest something that is cognitive or whatever with a young person, they may be more open